What's going on, everybody? It's TheNidien. We have our UFC Fight League Card 2 coming up this Friday, March 2nd. So what I asked for you guys to do that I want to put in some picks is to put in your picks by Friday, March 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as the fight starts 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's over in Australia. So you have up until 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Friday to put in your picks. Now, we only had 2 people, as you can see in the beginning, put in picks. Doritos is in the lead with 8 points. ITzApricot's in the second place with 4 points. And this card coming up here is worth 11 points. So if you haven't got in on this, or you happen to miss the last video, get your picks in. Just throw some names down there if you want to be involved. Anything could happen. Like I said, this next card's worth 11 points. So if Doritos gets everything wrong and you come in and bust out 11 points, you're going to pull up into the lead and go from there. Anything could happen. We still have 4 events left, including this one here that you're going to be watching now this Friday. So there's plenty of points to be gained, plenty of points to be lost, and we'll see what happens. But we're going to talk a little bit about the card over in Japan. There was a lot of surprises, like I said. Ben Henderson is your new lightweight UFC champion of the world. He was able to pull off the decision. I kind of had a feeling he wasn't going to be able to stop Edgar, even though that up kick was disgusting. And I thought that was definitely a fight changer at that point. But Edgar wasn't able to do enough to pull it out, even though it was a close fight. He thinks he deserves an immediate rematch, but we'll see what happens. Pettis was supposed to get a match for the title long before Henderson. He ended up fighting, ended up losing, and lost his spot, which I didn't think was really all too fair. But you'll see what happens. The fight should be Ben Henderson versus Pettis for the lightweight title next, and then possibly have Frankie Edgar fight somebody else, get a win under his belt, and then come back. But we'll see. The UFC is all about making money. What's going to be the bigger draw? And in all honesty, Pettis versus Henderson 2 is probably going to be the bigger draw, as we've seen Pettis pull off the Matrix kick last time. What else happened? Bader versus Rampage. Rampage came in overweight. He had a knee injury. Bader was able to pull off the decision win, even though Rampage almost slammed his head off and right through the mats, which was interesting to kind of see him go back to that. But Rampage has become a really, really one-dimensional fighter. He's like disregarded his entire wrestling. We'll see where he goes from here. I honestly thought if he lost after, you know, coming in overweight with the injury, that there was a possibility that he might retire in Japan, as he started in Japan, but he didn't. So we'll see where that goes from there. Gomi almost lost twice in the first round. He hasn't been looking good as of late, even though he ended up pulling out the win. He just doesn't look good. I know there's a lot of people that were peeved off that he was on the undercard, but, you know, like a lot of people say, the UFC is, well, what have you done for me lately type business, and he hasn't been winning. And if you're not winning, you're not going to be put on the upper end of the cards. You're going to be put on the undercards and go from there. So we'll see what happens there. Hunt versus Congo was kind of a surprise to me because I wasn't too familiar with Hunt. I know he lost like 6 in a row, came back, 1-1, and he kind of fell out of it, but he proved his striking still there and ended up taking Congo out real quick. Congo's, you know, was up in the upper echelon, and he's fallen off as of late too. So that was kind of a surprise to me because I wasn't real familiar with Hunt, but we'll see where that takes Hunt and how far that shoots him up. Okami, like I expected, was beating the tar out of Bosch. Bosch ends up coming back in the 3rd round, clipping him and TKOing him. If it was, that honestly really did surprise me. I thought Okami had that one in the bag, but that's going to do a lot for Bosch's career, as Okami just fought for the title, so that's going to put him up in the title contender picture, and we'll see what happens. I don't think Bosch is nowhere near ready for Anderson Silva. He'll get tore up if he got tore up by Okami. But we'll see. If he gets a few more wins, maybe we'll just have to feed him to Anderson Silva and go from there. Lazan and Pettis was a great showing, like I expected. I thought it would go the other way in the first round. Lazan would take Pettis out, but Pettis was able to land a kick and end up knocking Lazan out within 81 seconds of the first round, and that pretty much garnered, I think, his title shot. If Lazan would have won, probably would have got Lazan a title shot. So we'll see if that drops Lazan down real far. I'm not real sure. He'll have to come back, readjust some things. But that was, you know, there was a lot of surprises on there, a lot of gives on this one. And this next card that we're looking at right here is Martin Kampmann versus Thiago Alves. And this one, it could be interesting. Both these guys are predominantly strikers. I think Martin Kampmann, like it says here, is His submissions are really underrated. I think he's a lot slicker on the ground than Alves, but we'll see, because Alves is going to come in close to 200 pounds on fight night, and I think he's just going to be too big for Kampmann, impose his will at 170, and probably TKO him or knock him out in the second round. But I've been surprised before. I really like Kampmann, but it's one of those fights. If Kampmann comes in and wins, it shoots him right up the rankings, possibly puts him in spot for a #1 contender fight. If Alves loses, you know, it just shoots him back down. If Alves wins, it kind of just keeps him straight up at the same level. You know, he's fought for the title before. He's always been right around the top 10, if not the top 5. So it's one of those things. It's a win-win for Kampmann. Even if he puts on a good show, he shows that he can hang with the big dogs. But for Alves, this could be devastating if he loses for his career in the UFC. So we'll see what happens when it goes from there. But like I said, I see Alves just being too much of the bigger man and TKOing or knocking Kampmann out in the second round and go from there. Another fight that I'm really interested to see is Court McGee. I've always liked this guy. Been watching his fights, been keeping up on him. It's good to see him come back along with Noki. Excuse me if I am saying this wrong, but he was on the tough as well, and he's coming back to his hometown in Australia to give it a good go. I like that guy. They're real humble. I like watching those two fights. As for the other guys, there's a lot of guys on here that I don't know or haven't really paid too much attention to, so it's one of those things. You know, these cards that don't have a lot of the big names, quote unquote, on them usually end up being the best, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of people give these kind of cards crap, but these cards usually end up being the best simply due to all these guys are fighting for something instead of trying to defend something. And lately, it's been getting to the point where these guys are trying to defend their titles, and they're point fighting. They're not going out and finishing fights like they were in the past. They're just point fighting, trying to pull out the decision, and not really doing much to like put on a good show, just to keep their, you know, keep their belt, keep the pay-per-view money rolling in. And you know, you can't blame them fully, but it is the fight game, and a lot of people, from the sounds of it, are getting a little tired of it. So we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a good card. Like I said, it's over in Australia. So get your picks in by Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to keep this going. We got 4 events left, including this one. And as always, guys, good luck. Keep your heads up. Have a great day. Peace.
Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Yves Leving has called a stop to this contest at 12 seconds of the second round, declaring La Gagnante.
What's going on, everybody? It's TheNidien, and I just wanted to let you guys know I provided a bunch of quick links for all my playlists. I'm going to be updating as we go, adding more games, and all that other good stuff. Also, check me out over on Justin TV for my live streams and Twitter.com to keep you guys updated on what's going on. And head on over to the VidThru and VSO Gamers page to find a variety of videos from a variety of directors ranging throughout all the genres. I'm sure there's going to be something over there you guys enjoy. So as always, keep your heads up. Have a great day. Peace.